Okay, welcome back. Let's finish C7X1. What we're going to do is we're going to take C7X1b, which uses private instance fields based on static integer arrays, and refactor it and see how you can use an array list of integer objects instead. All right, so let's go to the code. Where's my thing? Here it is. All right, so am I in my YouTube directory? Yes. Lab 7, C7. Okay, good. So what I want to do is make a shell or terminal. I'm going to cd to the YouTube directory, cd to the Lab 7 subdirectory, and cd to the C7X1 directory, and look what we got in here. Okay, good. So let's copy Rot13c.java to Rot13c.java. It should pop up over there. There it is. Let's open it up. And let's open up the tester too, because we've got to change the tester. The only thing we want to change in the tester is which class we're testing. In other words, the guts of the class is not interesting to the user. It's just interesting to us. So let's save that. And then over here. All right, so what are we going to change? Well, instead of private static int array text in and text out, what I'm going to do is an array list of integer objects instead for text in and text out. So array list. Now the array list class is not automatically imported, so we're going to have to import java.util.arraylist also. So array list of sorry, angle braces of integer objects. There you go. And where's the T? T. All right, so I'm going to copy that. I won't copy the whole thing. Okay. Copy that. Type over this. Mouse is slow for some reason today. All right, so before the class, let's do an import java.util.array. You don't have to import the integer class, container class, because that's already in java.lang. All right, so what are we going to change? Well, here's the constructor. We're still inputting a string from the command line. That's not going to, I mean, from the main method, but that's not going to change. Okay, so what we want to do is construct a new array list of integer objects. Now what's nice about the array list is that it's a dynamic class. It resizes automatically, so you don't have to even tell it the size. All right, so I'm just going to say text in equals a new array list of integer objects. So in other words, this, what is this about? Oh yeah, right, okay. So this gets replaced with this. All right, but that's the type, right, which we declared it up here. But this is a constructor method, so open, close parentheses. Okay. Now, for int I equals 0 to I is less than s.length I plus what's that, I'm going to keep that there. I want to mimic this, but with an array list. So what's going on here? Well, for every I is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, up to less than length, right? So if length is, like, if the input is bold and the length is 7, it goes from 0 to 6. For each letter in the string, or each character in the string, sub 0, sub 1, sub 2, sub 3, sub 4, sub 5, sub 6, it becomes an element of the array. The 0th element, the 1th element, the 2th element, right? So we're going to do the same thing, but this is how you do it. Text in using the add method. Now, if you add something, it just adds it to the end of the list and automatically resizes the list if it runs out of room. I think there's some default size, and then when it runs out of list, it doubles that size. And then when it runs out of room again, it doubles that size, right, automatically for you. All right, so we're going to add, what are we going to add? We're going to add this. This is the exact same idea. Not doing anything different. I think that's all we did. Yeah, I think that's about it. Okay. Good, semicolon. All right, now, how's text out going to be different? Is text out going to be different? Well, again, we have to construct an array list of integer objects, so let's just copy this. Right here. So text out equals new array list of integer objects, constructor, method, right, method. And then for I equals 0 to s.length, that stays the same. And then we're going to do text.add, well, let's see, this is what we had before, right? So we're going to say, basically the same thing, but we do text out.add where. Now, add is an overloaded method. You can add in a particular location if you already have elements in the list. So say you have 10 elements in the list from 0 through 9 indices, right? Say you put it in something in the second index, the third cell. It'll move everything over 1 to the 3rd through 10th cell and make space for the sub 2 index of the 3rd cell. So you can add inside the list at the location that you want without losing any information, right? But this is the add method without saying where you're adding, so it just adds to the end of the list. That's fine. And here we're going to encrypt textin dot get I. Okay. So we're going to encrypt textin. That's get I. Okay, so put that there. All right, that seems to be okay. Now, what do we have to change in the get textin? Let's make it like a toString. So we have a temporary empty string, right? And then for I equals 0 to text out. Okay. It's going to be textin or textout.size method. All right, so it's not the length public instance field of the static int array. It's the size method. What's nice about the ArrayList class, it has a lot of methods. There's a size method, there's an add method, there's a get method, right? There's all fun stuff. Refer to the Java AP subset, that's included at the summary is included at the end of each copy of each APA exam, part 1, part 2. All right, so that's good, that's good. And then temp plus equals car of textin. Now this is all right. This is what we had, right? Let's mimic that now. All right, so temp plus equals. All right. Car of textin that get I. So car of textin, but not sub I. It's not a static array. Dot get I. Get at I. Right? Okay. All right. I think that's it. All right. Same thing down here. So this is going to be that. This is going to be that size method. Notice not length like in the string class. Size in the ArrayList class. Remember, the ArrayList class extends the list interface. Take a look again at the Java AP subset if you don't know what I'm talking about. All right, and then let's mimic this. So that's how we do it with static int arrays. Now I'm going to say temp plus equals the car of textout.getI, right? The car of textout, but of .getI instead of sub I. The get method at the ith location. That's the same idea. All right, I think that's good. And then the encrypt method, I don't think we're going to change that. Now, we ran into trouble with it. See, the problem with this is textout has a bunch of integer objects, right? So when you get it, it auto unboxes it to an int, and then we're casting it to a car so we can concatenate it to a string. But I think for some reason we needed also int value to make it actually an int. It didn't really unbox properly. What's going on here is when we're adding, where's it add? When we're adding, we're taking an int, right? But we're adding it to an array list of integer objects, so it automatically boxes it as an integer object. Remember, the ArrayList class can only have objects in it, right? So string objects, integer objects, rectangle objects, whatever. But it automatically makes it an integer object if I declared an array list of integers. And it automatically, when we do a get, when we do an add, it automatically converts to an integer object, right? If I'm putting in an int. And if I do a get, it should automatically what we call unbox it to an int from an integer object. But I think we had a problem here that it didn't do that. Let's see what happens. Let's test this out. Okay, so it's Java C Rot13 tester, which is referencing the object, the 13 type class, right? 13c class. What happened? Line 3? In where? In Rot13c? Oh, I didn't rename something. This is C, right? This is C. This is C, because it has to match the file name, right? And yeah, that's what we want. We forgot to do that. All right, save. All right, clear that. Whoa. See, the thing with the getI. So it's not unboxing. It's giving you an integer object, and you can't car that. You can't cast that to a car. So it's not returning an integer, an int. It's returning an integer object. So lines 31 and 42. Let's fix that. That's what I'm saying here. I need to do a dot int value, which is a method from the integer object, integer class for integer objects. So it converts to an int value. It forces it to do that for you. It should do that automatically. I don't know why it's not doing that. And then the same thing here. That's an integer class method. So I'm applying that to an integer object that I'm getting off the array list, right? Okay. Save that. All right. See what else we messed up. Ah, what happened now? What happened now? It doesn't like array required. Oh, what happened here? What's this? Oh God. Line 21. What did I do? What did I forget to change something in line 21? Wait, hang on. 21. 21. So this is the text out thing. Oh yeah, we didn't change this. This is not car text in.getI. This is car.textin.getI. Oh yeah, I forgot the thing .getI. All right, so .get instead of the index I, right? Okay. All right, save that. Now, in convertible types, what is going on? Line 21 again. All right, so it won't let me. What am I forgetting? I'm forgetting something. All right, so let's assume that that does return. Oh, I'm casting it as a car, right? Okay. You know what? This is that thing about it's not returning. Okay, if I get rid of this, I think it'll unbox to an int. And then what I'll do is I'll just change this to take ints down here. Okay. So if character.isUpperCase return. All right, let's just make this all ints. Let's make it easy. Return that. We had the same issue in class, I forgot. And this. All right, let's see what that does for us. Ah, okay. So let's run it. So the compatibility issues is not the point. The point is how do you construct an array list of integer objects? How do you get? How do you add? What's the size method? How do you rewrite the static integer class, right? So how about Baldwin? Rewrite it without privates being static integers. Okay, that seems like that's the same thing we had before. Let's copy this. Get Baldwin back. We do. Perfect. Done. All right, so there you go. So that's how you rewrite. All right, I made this all in. So that's not the issue. The issue is how to use get, how to use size, in this case, how to use int value, how to use add, right? So I changed it to a bunch of ints instead of cars for the encryption, but that's not the issue. The issue is how do you rewrite this with dynamic array lists of integer objects instead of a static integer array, and we did. So there you go. All right, bye-bye, YouTube. Have a nice day. Hope that helps you.